Lisa Guthrie, 7 or 3. All the Satanists out there that are blood, and they're raping, chopping off fingers, things. In one of these apartments was yelling this morning. She said, "You will keep dead bodies in your room." They're all sick. They're all psych. They're all bleedment for them, and psychiatrists cover up for them. These are rapists. They've made rape threats. They've also put water. They've stood behind the wall of the shower area trying to terrorize me. Or Lucifer. And the storage, or actually it's a not a storage room, it's a stuff to scent things up there, but just natural oil. And the hang out, the prostitutes right here, and this wall is too shallow, and they're such psychos, they threaten to come through the floor and the walls by. And I believe they go to 229 from behind 329. And here is the janitor's area behind here. You see the label on the door, it says janitor. And those are some bums, definitely, that also talk about child molestation. They're involved with the Bloods. About every day, they've come up with some sort of scheme to kidnap or have me raped. And one of them said today, murder when leaving, something to that effect. So these are bums, and the managers let them have control over the building. The managers are Bloods. People like these people that are just cleaned up addicts right off the street, drunks. That's a secret of America. If you're an addict or a drunk, they'll hide your mental illness. Now, there's some paranormal stuff going on. Practitioners of black magic. So you will hear me curse them back. So I'm going to keep the phone on broadcasting for a while so you can hear the rapists and you can hear the prostitutes. They're bums. They're not just prostitutes. Prostitutes are involved, according to them, they're involved in cannibalism. They're involved in child rape, pornography, and kidnapping people. They're involved in identity theft where they actually kill the victim. They actually brag about how they'll kill the victim. Then that victim actually, and then there's actually a prostitute in the wall in the storage area. You might have heard her. She said, "Shoot you." And I learned something about gang members. All retarded, and I like that word because it's accurate. They are, some of them very much like imbeciles. There's an old classification system where people were classified as imbeciles, moron, etc. There's like 4 levels. You can look it up. I can't remember. It's a scale. You've got that within the ranks of the gang members. And if you think they're smart because they posture as, I've seen people with Down syndrome actually pretend to be policemen. So posturing as someone, that doesn't mean that. And if you wonder about the bags and junk on the table, I can't keep any apartment. The managers gave people the keys the minute I've been here. Well, at least I noticed that they were entering almost when I was asleep 3 days later. And I've also found glass. I've gotten sick from things in my apartment. Yesterday, I was eating something, and it's not the package. And I actually some of these to see if they were intact. But there's at least one of these. I got it from Elizabeth Gregory home. But I think I mixed with the ones that have been left here, and I think I was poisoned by it. Now, it's happened. Elizabeth Gregory home too. You know, I volunteered and I came back to my sports bottle drink. It was vitamin water, and it was fine before. I came back, drank some, felt very high, and I also drank. I had a naked juice yesterday, but I think it was the Fig Bar. I have to make sure that, you know, there's air in these and that they're intact. Even then, keeping something here is very dangerous with addicts, and they can glue down the lids. That's the whole thing with these people. They are, you know, they've learned things. It doesn't mean they're smart, though. It just means they were taught. And instead of having a nice, productive job, moms will spend their time in, doing mischief. There were a lot of floods at the park yesterday when I ate dinner, and there were quite an array of people, including like an old medical vehicle, and there were a couple saying they could just kidnap me and I'd go off and it would look like a medical vehicle. It was at least a 30 to 40-year-old paint job in primer red, and it had like these symbols that looked somewhat like medical. It kind of reminded me of snowflakes on it, so maybe it was used for skiers. Usual, it was odd. It was like long van, and one of the bums had said, "We're taking her in," and then the other bum, there's a bum here saying you'll be in submission. Go to hell, ugly bitch. So you can see I have any respect for these people. The Bardos. A lot of these the into services because morons. It's not that they're hiding their identities and they're so clever. They're morons. It's the fact that they are moron and imbeciles. They can't take care of us, you know, but they can walk up to somebody and grab all their stuff in the backpack, and wow, they've got deodorant, they've got toothpaste with your dog. So then they've got, you know, toothpaste, deodorant, napkins or something. That's constantly tried or attempted out on Aurora. So, the themselves, cannibal fetishes, what, who claim constantly threaten. On a paranormal level, they like to practice eating the etheric body of people, or actually to eat spirits, and, you know. These people actually fell with years ago, and and they like to move calling me the devil, Jesus, insane, but nobody had me because nobody had a spirit aura, and they'd all been dead for a minute. So you hear me talk about paranormal and arguing that they'll argue, also argue not that they do it like for robbery or attempted robbery. Well, they'll argue why they did it. I have to pray. They're talking about glass blasted thing. Glass was cut. Vitamin E. Let's see the bums that were involved. Even the ugly old man out there was involved. And just because it's an ugly old man doesn't mean he's not a rapist. It doesn't mean he's not assaulting people. Oh, he's not out there. I can't see him. I could hear him. This ugly fat guy likes to get into the janitor's room and terrorize me as well. Their decision. He just missed her. And they especially targeted different countries that they, for actually it was one of the coups, and they're morons, and like they're robot morons. targeted England, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales. They've targeted Europe. They've targeted the rest of the UK and Greece, Russia. I have to pray a little bit more. I have to eat my breakfast, but I want prayer. In the name of Jesus, let us try. I have to have motion detectors because they've threatened to chop through the floor. One of them is talking. These people aren't just as your whole life. I'm not threatening anyone, but I do. A black guy out there. The other, I'm going, little girl. Cold. They threatened to take drugs. Something about taking chakras, and they said, we pay your rent. There's the relationship with the bums, and in front of that, nobody has, they're all just retarded people. Blow out. So we think poses bloods. Was talking about how they played and forced it. One of them finally realized in the United States, and the other one they were going who got in the way. He used the word stack. The word stack them up. The irony, these these are bloods. They're dangerous to do together. Bags outside, and he's trying to get your book bag, and he's bigger than you. Well, even if he's bigger than you, if he touches you, pretty much afraid of the real attack. People have asthma, allergies, chemical sensitivities, and I have I'm listening. I have bleeding ulcers. And so they targeted me for 13 years, and ironically, they've all called themselves warriors. They've also put toxins in my water. An Aurora. A building it was, and what else there. And I will reveal names as well. And is on Aurora. So you see, I woke up 13 years ago, and these asswipes, my language, the bloods and the other, or even kids, because they're. In reality, did I owe them most of them? These are bums, and it's called extortion. And guess who let them do it? And maybe, the rest would be fake professionals, just people who work. Some of them work out in the pub. So then they get this conspiracy government. When there's a bad cop, maybe there's 10 those aren't quite professionals. In comparison with cops, not most of them. We've got a uniform. Well, cops, that's why they're so. I was told all apps and other gang members, government, and you'll find them government schemes where they're fake government. And a lot of this, they're not. One of the psycho morons calling President's bill. Now, the thing that the semi and the social workers will pretend these people are normal. Ignored their psychotic behavior and listed as America dealt. Organs trade, they threatened me. They've acted as if I'm going to tape it, comes cast him all the way, including him. It's a record. No, people are foul. They all have body fetishes for dead. They all have blood fetishes. They all have fetishes about their own urine, their own fecal, and smearing it everywhere. And they're started and they're consecrating. Like making a permanent record, like, oh, well, we are filth, so these are bums. They're bums. One of the bums, he's playing Mexican right now. Yes, Norwegian, some bums at the park that thought they off that scheme, which included black people and whites and possibly an Asian. I think he was, or he was just there to kiss their butts. I'm not sure, but it involved a few people, but they're all scum. Any brush with $50 even, you're still scum. Extra groceries, nicer cut of meat downtown at Market, and didn't. One was again talking about circumcision. So, and that's the fat male. He's white, beard. He had an orange cat. Beard. Charting. These people are evil. Satan. Well, find the cause. You find out what it is, but I know. So even if a dentist is acting crazy, like, I'm going to put you in the van, well, I'm going to put him on tape. I don't care who it is. Will see us as they are. And I'm chanting, manage you. Manage you. They're playing clone me. Excuse me, I have to curse them. It's actually, I've been looking at other devices, not very expensive. There was an octa-core dragon tablet, and I was interested in that. So tablet, actually, it's as adequate as some laptops don't have as much ability as you could type documents, but you can do that on a phone, and you can track back and forth too, and send it and forth. But a lot of memory of like a used computer, I'm thinking of some of those aren't even better. They're playing raw. You'll hear sometimes a curse because there's a get on with these bums constantly. And, zombies. And curses get too strong, or I really sort of want to talk louder. Speak louder. I do tend to hang up. You hear a siren. They're all dirty. They like to around the time of a real ambulance going by. And yesterday was a ridiculous paint job, ridiculous vehicle that looked like it had been, around since they ate something, or more. Then it waiting in University Park. Especially it seemed I'm trying to piece what was I there. It's out and having a situation, but since the buzz are around, I have to be popping out. If I go to a situation, I've got to be on the lookout. I'd rather be around the bears personally, the gang right there, because if you go camp something, they'll try to run a kidnapping. It's not smart. Not to surveil people. Illegal camera in this room, and it's detectors. And if I messed with the smoke detector, the building alarm would go off. These people have, to quote an alternate, there's nothing to do. They want to spread their what's the filth that one wants. Same with the zombies. They're trying to, well, first of all, the inferior DNA. They're trying to spread the zombie. That's the first thing a moron wants. It's at least some of the inferior stock might have been wrecked, but they want to do retarded, like the product of drug and alcohol. The drug and alcohol mothers that gave birth to go, well, that's a curse that keeps on giving. They basically ruined civilization in the U.S. Gone. And the fear absolutely took the U.S. away. All colors, and Eugene should have been president. In fact, I would trust them better than some of these well, as long as they didn't marry and produce, it might have been okay, but it probably would have been bad, but probably as I say this is every bit as bad. The thing, Down syndrome people weren't inherent. So you have all of just people that are like maggots to me. They're just maggots wherever I go. The Bloods like to buses, but there's also a Zeta. Sometimes Bloods will work with their gangs, which is Zetas. The whole thing is raping someone. Well, not even the moms that's raped you, some dummy kid that they're using. They're all dummy. So any 13 years is still a prohibition in the U.S. None. Or maybe they have good clothing, you know, or some at all not. Gave them a channel. Moms like to use trigger names, they'll use ethnicities. They were because there's so many. Quite frankly, moms is about I blah 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 blah. When these people look, they look like. And the first mark of Satan is to play Lisa Guthrie's evil. She's Satan. That's done. If you see, well, what women think about the priest who takes the body? The demon. It's not really a he, but the fall, and they infest people around the world as possible, and try to make them as deranged as possible. Just know there is no white in the U.S. that you heard or like them. Excuse me. One of them more we're talking, and another one's a car body shop or I don't know. It might be a thing. It's a something. They're not talking about that. They're talking about torture and and there were other references early. And not fabulous tablets that are not very expensive. So you get a laptop, it's really heavy. It's not as documents on some of them. That's about it. Maybe. Probably the documents, but the surfing, the watching, and then you're doing around something that might weigh, a couple pounds. Ugh. I already have to carry too much stuff. When you come core, and many of those use computers on, I don't even more. I'm not sure. Oh, it's XP. Well, eventually you won't have on 7, and the new Windows. What I don't like on tablets though, they'll have just Android system, and the ones that have the Windows, they seem to be fairly expensive. Android systems work pretty well with it, I think, especially the newer ones. So that female that I broadcasted, she looks old, like fetal alcohol syndrome. By the way, Satan loved people like that because then he could oust. He knew that those people would oust regular people, or people of excellence. They targeted things, also characteristics they didn't like, and I can tell what people like that inferior programmed as beautiful. So I also see that many of the celebrities have some sort of syndrome, such as Carolyn Delaney syndrome, fetal alcohol syndrome, and I am not an expert, but I can see it. I think that someone actually trained me in that respect. She was a mother, and she also worked with mentally disabled people. I have as well. And I believe that someone gave me pretty good training in recognizing faces and who had fetal alcohol. And the gang, I look at them and there's a strange to the left. I actually had a friend to her mother drive, and she looked away. Other than that, I just hide it under your drug alcohol use. They love psychotic because they can put psychotic to use. Psychotic is working at the front desk as we speak. All over America. Psychotic is in on your records of psychotic is everywhere. Has your psychotic has your credit scores. And psychotic has a financial record somewhere. Psychotic has your social security number. Am I pointing at social security or just no? I'm pointing at, like, you have to use your for or housing. I'm just anyway, and the garbage that is America took over the spirit world and ruined not only the spirit world but a whole host of what I call you in America. You're not psychotic, and I actually think they put away now. I'll tell you, these people have ESP 13 years ago, but they all opponent to the ESP work. And there's a plane playing, by the way. So because he communicated, doesn't matter if he owns that plane or if he's bum. He has bum contact with the bum during Armageddon or after. He'll be shopping, survives what we all might not survive. I'll probably be killed with you since. God. And lots of shots. Blowout. Let me have to curse them. Sometimes this it would sit all day and left. It was left open purposely, and I broadcasted that. There's another plane on the zombie network. They all seem to be. bums were pretending that people in the world beings. I bought it. Copyright. Like if you think of a way to defend yourself, they'll say copyright. Like you'll even have bums that pretend they own of the left. There'll be a bum out there who says, I own everything that skips to the left. Magic with angels or something? Angels anyway. Pagan person. And she was endorsing fallen angels. She was endorsing and very dangerous. I believe she was instrumental in the fall. She led some teenagers on now to destroy others. It's too late for most people in the U.S. All those people who showed you those disasters about Armageddon, they were all those pamphlets were correct. We just didn't have Satan sort of won at that point. And what is best for the spirit world actually, and the to just stamp it out wherever it is. That being that spreads it, or even this carrying, it's like a spore. And so the zombie component or particle actually to zombie spore or whatever it is, and the Satanism in people. It seeks to duplicate everything it comes. It seeks to dominate. Repetitive theme of domination. And I'm not talking about government, I'm talking about gang members, lawmakers. I don't mean people who say to return that library book. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm about people who say you shouldn't drive over 60 miles an hour. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about people who have paperwork if you're applying for some sort of aid. I'm talking the ones that are non-legitimate. Much sugar. So if you're interested in photographing and video, in finding Bloods and other gang members, so anyone around me who's professing to pretty much or a dirty gang. So if you want to find Bloods, and in fact, I'm going to give the exact location. And sounds like kidding. So there's another bum in the car zombie. Head to find Blom and before the burn hand. And from what put on me, this Gregory home, and this is like 5 and with glass, which is a practically they're in your face a little too much as they've invaded your body is the crime, and they'll fling often look at hands after so that they don't cut themselves, because even if it's on your sit down in that area and take your pants off later and to touch those face, and we touch one of the janitors, she's using chakra, and there's let's talk about another transference. Laundry. You bundle up your laundry, you laundry so you don't wash your hands, you walk on barefoot, and you know it's your last, got it on blanket possibly, after let's say you walked around and then you sat on your laid down on your bed and you're doing your sheets, you have clean sheets on your bed, oh you live there, it's it's clean because it's just you, and so you put something falls down, maybe your purse to your bed. I mean, it's much damage it also has, because you're going to come in contact with people, even though they're fake zombies. Like me, came up to me and just hugged me with that warning at Gregory, because I used to volunteer playing Ocean Crazy. The gang members will follow you around, trying to, usually these child molesters, they are in on, they're like play prostitute so that they can rape you. These are dirty dregs. A lot of them that followed me were all on .org, and they followed me on the 40-year-old thing. And it was at the time was still pre, and they were trying to threaten me into prostitution. Well, a prostitute, soft looking, like fat, soft. And there's another zombie, and they're inferiors. And my stuff, and full well, this is a problem. The thing is ridiculously young, trying to push now, right? And besides, harder to seemingly adroit. I don't want to give credit at dishonesty. They thought they were reveal, peel and reveal. So then after that was on my record, I was has, by the way, or that comes in a few days or so. And I will reveal some names. I bet you might say, well, why would you live with a bunch of Satanists? It's all over the U.S. Where am I supposed to move? And I don't have, $1,000 worth of camping equipment to go to Alaska, be on that show where you can starve and get your hair greasy and have to kill your poor little chicken, and it's like a big little chicken stringing vegetables. I don't have like $100,000 worth of equipment, tractor, so I can build a cabin either. And what else? One show. So $100 worth of equipment so you can arrest these bloods. Rest, you can't do that. Police person can't have that show. I'm not that crazy guy on that. They think they're bounty hunters, state police, government. But see, I know the difference. Bathroom or something, no. Something about like she was shouting bodily functions regulated. Tardo. Guarantee. Contacts. Or earlier, I read the review list. There's like 79 complaints with the Aqua Dragon, and it supposedly had a cheap screen to get the apps, or you couldn't get a movie on shipping too, but the screen didn't look good. It looked like a cheap plastic screen. Tablets for a little price have pretty good resolution numbers. Color is important. I might start posting some of my work. Some of it I posted, Facebook a long time ago. Bloods and other gang got threatened for my art, and they like to pretend everything is to take identity, take the physical of brain. I am not kidding you. Either in the form of crystal brain material, such as the very liquid, moist, or have it viewed by something. And so I posted my arm, like dead fingers. I have it instead. They sacrifice to Zuckerberg, sacrifice all the time. And there's a bum on the left. He's also at 329. And there's a whore giving false permission, and she's playing no. Excuse me, I have to curse them and their puppet. Betty pays her rent. It's too much. They're awakened 13 years ago. The the fishers, people that I had loved in my past, and people. More head. And why would they take head? Well, they're 80 IQ, 12 minutes. 12 minutes. They're playing rape, 1050 chest, and they're playing rape, head, they're playing grocery. And you say, do you have any relationship with them? Do you borrow money from them? No. Do I have contact? Coming and going, I might see the ugly things, or on a couple of the ugly things, I would see where I volunteer and go. I have to curse them. You will hear me. And then a whore threatening sodomy. Sodomy threat. Plus take pills. And the zombie in the plane is chanting as well. And guess what that makes this? Can you guess? It makes him a dirty zombie in the shopping cart with the shopping cart. So it is foretold, and it comes. Tampered with is still coming. Plagues are coming. And by the way, if you're something or taking a cotton swab and going around your apartment, or methods that you've heard use, some of them have dirty lab connections over and over. Taunts, including for illegal organs trade and kidnapping. And also devil worship. There are a lot of abnormal people. And by the way, we'll seek Jesus was scratched, female dog, which, Nazis within the separatist, as a separatist movement within the blood. And who's behind Nazis? A bunch of white morons, usually, or with them. She was tall, like 5'10", and she absolute glass was on my bed. There's a bomb in universe and back. Oh, by the way, that moron that you have in the background, she that this woman, she was a doctor. I ended up leaving somewhere. She was hideously rude to me, didn't help me. I also have bruises on my hands because, also my hands are also scarred from the toxins they put in my water. She also acted like crazy. She was paid. She was probably 40s or smallpox face at least an inch or an eighth of an inch.
Good morning, everyone. This is Matt at the front desk. Right now it's 11 o'clock. Sunday, July 10th. Today we're having biscuits and gravy and Kool-Aid. Come on down.
The bums that threat. He's a bald male. He's just cleaned up, drunk or drunk, and he's right off the streets. And I think it's Parkinson's, probably from drinking. But they apparently clean themselves up to come. Another one, he's white. There's another from Recovery Cafe, and he's pretty, and he's about 5 feet tall, and as well, which is room, and he's masturbated and threatened me with rape and spat off about Satanism, which, remember, the Bloods, whether they're white, black, or in between, they're all in on Satanism. They're in on cannibalism, and they're in on whether American terrorists. The fact I'm going to ignore Arabs and our preconception of Arabs, and more primarily mistreated by Americans, black, white, and in between these last 13 years that were blood. For 13 years, I don't know, it was 2% Arab, but, or Muslim even, but that's not to say that some Muslim people aren't in gangs. Anybody who works with a gang is involved in a gang. You are taking over saying, here's this crime, here's $100, you're a gang member. Helping to also a Satanist. Blowout. She's a female, a Nazi, black Nazi. She's we'll have even the word play those black, white. So the real ethnicity. So the Hebrew people, English, Scottish, Irish, Welsh, other Europeans, and also other Slav, including Ukrainian, that were peoples as well. So without those people, we would be sitting in the dirt. Repeated blowouts. It's back. It's my right to prevent them happening altogether. Assaulting people. She's taking her pants down, and it's white, black, or in between. People, and some seem to be able to cover up their psychotic, but they almost are psychotic in a bipolar manner. I'll see the black, white, in between. They'll sit at the front desk and they'll, answer the phone. So yeah, or just even more blah, 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 will take your pants down. Services, they're all involved in rapes, and the people who get the most out of social, including 4 of the managers of the social services. And so the people that do the best are able to sort of pretend and not psychotic mental health, because to one of the favored classes of people, and I don't mean rich, I would suggest that all gang members are mentally ill and actual physical issues. Gang members are institutions, and they are all over stock, especially after the fall with Satan. Some of the people after the fall of Satan, they're also in the spirit world too, and parts of animals. Why some of the DNA is also mixed, that they were inferior after. And I've seen some, it might seem that we're very chest and back. And they're playing blowgun. Excuse me, I have to curse them. The spirit world do the same thing to them. So they loved painting, making things out of people. Well, they're blowing me out. What do you think? So that's blood and soul and tissue. They don't have soul. Tissue collection, some zombie Satanist, or whatever it is you call it, the mechanism. They're a zombie spreading relationship. They do my back out again. They're playing explain mysteries. A lot of them like to use inane triggering, like one of the goats, the bugs, just the ethereal actually might get depleted of blood attacking me, because they've attacked you physically. I mean, Brenda has pulled down her pants. Story, apparently there was a friend they have seen like Jack Daniels bottles being drunk. Some people would tell me they've seen heroin me my English. I'll tell you why. I listen to down slang or absolutely apparently hair 45. It's a creep that at about Green Lake before this church that I think it's one of the shelters. So I told him what I'd do with it if he tried to use it on me. He got out. A shooting on the year ago. All of these bums, they shouldn't have. They're all threatening, including sorority females will threaten you with that. They're in on acid burnings, whether it's putting you with acid. At 10507 Aurora Avenue North, Seattle, Washington. I know I'm not the only one. They're linking with ritualized magical beliefs, sacrifice, animal cruelty. Coffee. Oh, there's a bum playing I'm sure it was after chest was taken. You're a pile of manure. There you go. Need to go soon. I need some more stimuli. I can't even, I have my Bible online or off. That's why I need to get another device so I can. There's a lot of ENs. White. They look like they're somewhat flattened out. Can be and they look like sort of almost like, or I call like almost like wrought iron lamp for the size of the lamp, and it takes up the lamp. And they're using my chakras. They're using she's playing my uncle. Crash uncle does not see this, which her uncle and there are no ideas. It's a whore on the mic. Whores. They're playing. The thing is, all these people are themselves, and a lot of these people, they're physically and spiritually with what they've done to use those energy fields, but chemicals in their diet can just mimic where one gets diseased or additives or, well, I think, and I would postulate, these mystery ailments were caused by exposures to mystery ailment to a woman. Mystery falls down, mystery. Oh, excuse me. Could that be from the radiation she carried around? Do you think? Oh gosh, mystery was left. Could that be that they was angry at, or that the gang told occasion? Excuse me, I have to hear something. Oh, and here's another one trying to sound intelligent. Slay. There's a whole intelligent, they have stolen brain. Because you say, well, why would this whore from Aurora suddenly sound like she has an IQ? Playing belly and spirits. Another bum type. The bums here think bloods have that theory as well. Like Chris George. Washed up and filtered it out, which isn't the best with an alcohol. But they, they use alcohol. Also, the electricity, bloods acting as though they like to do it. And I'll tell you, the police and anyone sane, like the FBI, predict they'll need military. Liars, and motor noise. So they're embarked, and they pretended, they like to pretend I'm Satan, the murderers. I actually had a golden soul, that's why they end up like them. And they're not ending up as other planets, they're ending up as they think. Desk and the property manager, and there's even a dirty evil dog. He works with Aurora, not Aurora, but DSC downtown emergency services, and pretend that you're lying or crazy. Here's what they do in America with a lot of the social service, blah blah, Bon Mary's. What they're referring to, Mary's Place, and she's talking about Bon Mary's. They absolutely home of the $2 hooker in the $200 sweater. Sometimes spoil the skanks. The dirt society are welcome, including if they, especially if they do. If you're not a criminal and you're not a Satanist, you're not worth anything to them. And I believe they're all mentally ill zombies, and a lot of them, they'll get together, they all act like they're, and Recovery Cafe is another one. They love to feed the rapists, and they'll cover they're using they're playing demons. One just did that in the wall. He's in that. A game will get you, even if you're they'll just induct the people below you or around you. Storage room to their advantage. When I was at 132nd and Aurora, one area that was involved, he made, and I've for illegal construction on her apartment. We're talking ceiling fans. She did something to the stove. She dug into the. Sometimes it's covered up though. See if she did it, and if she'd been doing. But this was before the being a good. A lot of these people were set to go. You could feel the touch of the dirt, the filth, all come. And everything was set. The inferior, the evil mixed well. I was Satan. Satan. Oh dear. We use the oven. Some toxins. Might not be even for heating up tea. It's better that way. If people have touched your thing, that make mistakes. Lot of homeless morons. By the way, they're smart enough to go smart. If you think about it, it's ill planning. They can go and where's rent? Where's rent? The rent after the beer. After the bottle knows maybe alcohol. Even nature. It talks about things that they shouldn't be talking about, such as in order to, and they tried to curse nature against me. And the other not in the way that, and to play cat part. Well, I think I'm going to get going. I'm going to look for, and oh, in case you're wondering what you're looking at, I have to take diabetes medicine. I also have diabetes, and remember, everybody calls themselves a warrior. That's against me. Drug users. And I wouldn't be a prostitute, I wouldn't sell children, I wouldn't kidnap children, so that's what happened to my hand. Or even take this that threat too. And after the children. Just done by blood. At least one Zeta at 10507 Aurora Avenue North, Seattle, Washington. And I never know when it's going to pop on, so don't be surprised if you hear me song of mockery against the